Welcome back to Movie Trailer Reviews Podcast. This is your host, Chris and Phenom here. And we're here to review The Predator. When a young boy accidentally triggers the universe's most lethal hunters to return to Earth, which is not what happens, only a ragtag crew of ex-soldiers and a disgruntled science teacher, cannot believe they're just calling her a science teacher, but at this point, okay, whatever, can prevent the end of the human race. It is directed by Shane Black. And it is also written by Shane Black and Fred Decker. It stars Boyd Holbrook, Trevante Rhodes, who you remember from Moonlight, Keegan-Michael Key, Olivia Munn, Sterling K. Brown, Thomas Jane, Jake Busey, and I wanted to bring this up because I'm gonna get into this later in a little rant. I just figured out who she was. Yvonne Strahovski. You might not know that name, but just to throw this out, anybody who watched, I don't know if it wasn't the last 24, but that 24 Live Another Day or something like that. That's Kate Morgan. And I want you guys to remember how badass she was in the 24 series as Kate Morgan. Just keep that in mind, all right? So before we get into just talking about this film, I just got to go and say that there have been, before this film, there have been 3 Predator films. The first Predator film, classic. Everybody likes that one, right? That's the one that started all this shit. The last one they did, Predators, with I think it was Robert Rodriguez directed that, and it starred Adrian Brody. I actually like that one. I did. I thought that was more along the lines of a sequel to the first one. Predator 2 is not a good film, and it's got that good like racism from the 80s and 90s, but it's got Gary Busey and Danny Glover's sweat glands in it, and his sweat glands are working overtime. And I really, truly believe that they need their own, movie credit in this film because of how much they work in that film. But it's entertaining, right? And all 3 of these films expand the Predator lore, not too much, but just enough. But the premise of all of them are this simple. You have the hunted, and you have the hunters. Predators are the hunters. And in Predators, they kind of stand a little bit where some predators are hunting other predators, and instead of being on Earth, the predators have created their own planet, and they brought basically the deadliest catch to their own planet. That is the most basic premise for those 3 movies, and it's worked. And then you get The Predator, which the fuck was Shane Black thinking?
I don't know.
What the fuck?
I don't know. I'm just first of all, Yvonne Stravinsky was bothering me as well, or Stravinsky, or whatever it is. She was bothering me as well, but not for the reasons that she bothered you. For me, it was she's the evil wife in Handmaid's Tale. She's the evil mistress, and she also was in Dexter as another serial killer that he was fucking. So that's why her face kept getting.
That's the thing. She has range, and they don't use her.
Oh yeah, of course. No, they don't use her at all. She just is here. The fact that she's in one of the most popular shows on streaming networks right now, and is a lead character on that show too, and they gave her this. That is just—it's like Shane Black went and picked a bunch of people from television and threw them into the movie because maybe people from television come cheap.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what that's about. Sterling K. and Yvonne and Keegan-Michael.
Mm-hmm.
All of these people have either had popular shows or have popular shows now currently, but don't really do a whole lot of movie stuff.
Yeah.
And then he decided to throw them in this. So, but yeah, the whole synopsis bullshit, I heard that in a review earlier today and was losing my mind while he was reading that, because I was like, that is absolutely not correct at all. And the fact that shit exists everywhere on the internet is just proof. It's just more proof that this movie is a fucking mess. And it is. From beginning to end, it is an absolute cluster fucking mess of ideas. So I went and I watched the interview with Shane Black with Collider, and I have all of these fucking quotes. But just to go with the mess one, I thought this was perfect. And it came out of his mouth. He said, "We were trying to jam a lot into a 5-pound bag." And I was like, wow, at least he's honest. He's absolutely honest. They tried to jam 50 pounds of bullshit into a 5-pound bag with this movie. This is the most I don't think we're going to get a sequel film I've seen in a long time. So let's just do all of these ideas.
I mean, it's very clear to me that this is, to me, like another Justice League situation where they had multiple scripts and they were running out of time and they had to film something. Because there were scenes in this movie where like, that doesn't make any sense from what you did before, but you just, we'll get into this when we start really picking apart what's wrong with this film. But at the end of the film, it's like they remembered, I was like, oh shit, we have a Predator film and the Predator hasn't actually hunted anybody. We should probably do that. Let's throw that scene in real quick. It's like, what the fuck are you doing? What?
Can we get the real synopsis? Can we get the actual synopsis? There's stuff in this film that happened that I thought was not already out there, but it absolutely is. Most of it's out there. I watched their panel at Comic-Con. It's most of the stuff that you might think is spoiler stuff has been out there since Comic-Con.
Oh wow, serious?
So, huh?
You serious?
Yeah, yep. They said it themselves at their own panel.
Jesus Christ.
So they didn't even try to hide. Like for instance, the kid is on the spectrum. That's literally what Shane Black said. You know, we have a kid with autism on the spectrum, and I was like, wow.
Let's you know what? Let's table that real quick, because I have so much to say about that. I went on a thing this morning on Twitter about that. Let's go over some of the things that do work for this film, and then we'll get into what's bad, because there's not a lot that goes well with this film. To me, like there's three things that stand out, and they all sit around the cast.
Three sounds, but go ahead.
You say what now?
I said three sounds like a lot.
Well, the third one kind of melds into what's wrong. So, but I'll go in order. Basically, one, the Loonies, the Looney Squad, which is basically Trevante, Keegan-Michael Key, Thomas Jane. I'm not going to call him by his real name. I'm just going to call him Reek. Alfie, Aleen, Augusto, Aguilera, who plays Nettles. I think that's all of them. They're basically the group that the ex-soldiers. They're all basically going to a mental facility. They've all had some kind of break. Either they've tried to commit suicide, they try to kill somebody else. They just went crazy. And Boyd Holbrook's character Quinn McKinnon gets put with them. And honestly, if Shane Black just made either Bad Company or Expendables 4 with this group, this movie wouldn't be fucking funny. Because they have great chemistry together, and watching them interact is fucking hilarious. It's great. Not in this movie, great. Predator, great, because it's supposed to be a different movie. But if this was just a comedy with those, I'd watch that movie. I'd watch 90 minutes of that. They're hilarious. You know? Let's see. Number 2. Sterling K. Brown playing an asshole. He's great at it.
Yeah, no, he can act. He got range. He even said at Comic-Con he had fun with this character. Sometimes you feel boxed as an actor, and if you don't want to feel boxed, you go out and you take roles that are different. And his character is absolutely different from Randall on This Is Us. It showcases his versatility as far as being able to portray just really, really polar opposites on screen. So I found it to be hilarious, and yet it still had that same Sterling K. Brown charisma.
Yeah, like there's moments in here where you feel like he's gonna like give you a serious answer, and then he gives you like some smart aleck, dumbass answer. Like when there's a moment in there where this is the first movie they've ever done this, where they actually call the Predator a predator. And he says, we call it the Predator. And Olivia Munn's like, character's like, why do you call it that? She's like, it's like, because it hunts you down and kills. And he's like, but that doesn't really make it like a predator, because like it's sport hunting. It's more like a bass fisherman. He's like, yeah, but the fuck, who's gonna call it a fucking bass fisherman? No one's calling it a fucking predator because it's fucking cool. Like, he's just an asshole with everything he says. And it's great because you don't expect it from Sterling K. Brown because of all the other characters he plays. But it just fits this movie. And when you add in that plus the smart aleck nature of, the Loonies, it's fucking great. You fucking love it. Third thing, and this is where we start getting into the things that gets wrong. I actually did like Olivia Munn's character as far as and the way she interacted with other people. And even the fact that her character is it. You said what now?
Specifically the Loonies. She's the Snow White of these 7 dwarfs.
Well, yeah.
I think that worked really well for her, even though it's 5 dwarfs.
Oh yeah,
but it still worked for her.
Yeah. The scene where at one point she hilariously like ends up tranking herself, and so the Loonies kind of take her with them, and they're in a hotel room hiding out from the soldiers, and they're like these 5 strange men in this room with this knocked out woman. So they're like, oh, we don't want her to feel uncomfortable. So as he's sitting there laying there, they go and they put all these things around her to make her feel comfortable. And that scene is absolutely fucking hilarious because they're so goddamn stupid. And her interaction with them is fucking great. Now, where it enters into the what the fuck's going on phase is the explanation for why her character even exists makes no goddamn sense. Like at first, I thought that she was kidding when they were like, well, how'd you get pulled into this? Well, one time when I was in elementary school, I wrote a letter to the president about aliens. Oh, you're joking, right?
They've been following me ever since.
Right. And I'm like, okay, she's joking. She's pulling their chain. She's joking. She's like, well, no. And then, later on, I became a biology professor and I got flagged. And next thing you know, I'm pulled. And I'm like, oh my God, is that literally what happened? Are you literally telling me she got flagged since she was a kid because she wrote a letter about seeing aliens? What kind of stupid shit is this? It doesn't make any sense. She goes from them being the school teacher or whatever, biology professor, whatever, never actually really say what her actual job is in the film.
No.
But then she also is able to, at one point, pick up a trank gun and then run after an escaping predator. And like she's some kind of, like, I've been arguing all day today about people who complain about the character Rey in, the new Star Wars films. Oh, she's a Mary Sue, blah, blah, blah. No, that's not what a Mary Sue is. Rey actually is established as being a survivor and having a skill set. This is not like, say, I even go as far as saying that as much as I thought it was stupid in Peppermint, they at least try to explain that in that 5 years between when you first see her as his soccer mom to when you see her as his vigilante killer, that she had some kind of training in that 5 years. Olivia Munn's character is walking her dog, gets pulled in to show up at this top secret facility. For what reason? Again, she doesn't do anything when she's there because all she literally does is say things that they could have figured out their goddamn selves. And the next thing you know, she's like running around with guns and firing and having never established that she has any kind of military training, or even if they give a throwaway line and somebody goes, damn girl, how'd you learn how to shoot weapons like that? My dad taught me. You get none of that. None of that. None of the setup. It just you say what now?
At Comic-Con. So like I was waiting for you to get to Olivia Munn's character. At Comic-Con, Olivia Munn said men in films can just pick up a gun and know how to use it. So like I didn't want to be proficient in weaponry, but I wanted to at least be able to, pick up a gun and use it in a film. And I was like, what?
But see, I can go with that. But that's not what she does in the film.
That's not true, though.
But one, that's not true. But two, that's not even what happens in the film. She picks up a tranquilizer and chases after an alien creature after only 5 minutes before being told that aliens exist.
She also can't run. Like, I'm sorry, we need to establish the fact that Olivia Munn can't run. In this film, it is the goofiest shit I've ever seen. I don't care how attractive she is. She can't run. And they could at least took 10 minutes to teach her how to run. Like, I don't understand. There's no way she's keeping up with that fucking predator running the way she's running in this film. Like, I don't know if it was the Walmart shoes, the slip-ons that she had. I don't know if her science pants were too science. I don't know what was going on. But it's the goofiest fucking chasing I've ever seen. And she's literally chasing a motherfucker that is like 8 feet tall, bruh.
And then she man. She then jumps on top of a moving bus trying to shoot look, again, I can go with the her what she says, I'm fine. She's true. Like, dudes in movies go from, knowing how to, like, they even make fun of it in the last fucking Mission Impossible movie, when Ethan Hunt jumps in a helicopter, like, do you even know how to fly a helicopter? And he's just like, well, fuck it. I guess I'm gonna figure it out. You're like, that's not how that works. So I can go with that. I can go with that. Here's the other thing too. Ethan Hunt is also a trained agent, so it kind of makes sense. This is a woman who's literally walking her dog, and you say that she was just a biology teacher and she has no other skill set, whatever is outside of that. And it's not like she gets a gun and she fires it once. No, she literally joins. Like it doesn't make any fucking sense.
Fires it once. She literally shoots the fuck out of the predator at the end of the film when she comes jumping out of nowhere and lands on top of him, firing down. And I was like, bruh.
But again, I can.
Y'all gotta chill.
But again, I can let one go. It was annoying, but I can let that go. The rest of the film wasn't just god awful. So let's save the Spectrum kid for last, because that is probably not just bad, but also just offensive.
Oh, and shout out to Sterling K. Brown, because like we were telling y'all he's a villain. My nigga made fun of a kid with autism.
He did.
Like in his face, out loud, laughter, no mistaking that. He laughed in the kid's face and made fun of him made fun of his autism.
I'm not gonna lie, it was funny and good.
I laughed.
Yeah, it was good.
I laughed.
It was good. It was good. Now, again, like Sterling K. Brown is fucking excellent in this film. I need to see him as more villains, because he really takes that shit. So, but let's so, you know, the Predator shit. I have not seen the Predator. This movie is the Alien Resurrection of Predator films. And what I mean by that is, if you saw Alien Resurrection, which I think I saw it last year when we did our nostalgia review for it, one of the biggest problems with Alien Resurrection was it comes in and it tries to do all this extra shit with alien lore. And it completely misses the point and makes a giant, complete mess. It does so much, yet so little at the same time. And that's exactly what the Predator does. They throw so much extra shit into this film and add so much other layers onto the film. But the problem is, with each new layer, they don't add enough details to the layer that they're putting stuff on top of. So all you get is one big giant mess of a fucking film that has all these layers that are jumbled together and make no sense. Like, you get this new super predator versus the old predator, and you're like, what's new about the super predator? It's like, well, they apparently were experimenting on themselves, and predators take like the best parts of other species they hunt, and that's why they hunt other species, and they inject it into themselves. So what part of that, like, what part are they doing? Like, how are they upgrading themselves? Oh, we don't know. Like, so if they take a best part of humans, what part of humans are they putting in themselves? Oh, we don't know. What other creatures then have they taken parts from to improve themselves? We don't know. He's just taller. He's just taller, and his armor is his skin. Well, how can he do that? We don't know.
I'm going to take it deeper than that. Because I, again, have been listening to Shane Black talk about this movie a lot today.
Mm-hmm.
Shane Black said, there is a predator faction on the home planet that has been bested twice by humans. They send their predators here, and their predators never come back home.
Not true.
Maybe.
Not true. Not true.
I know.
There is literally an entire like group of predators at the end of Predators 2 that go back home. And in the first Predator, it's one. Only one. But whatever, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Okay. They send their predators here and never Maybe their faction, a particularly irritable group of predators, having bested their chances not once but twice, they're not really happy with Earth. They're not above cheating either, which is why you get this roided up predator.
But that roided up predator isn't hunting humans, it's hunting the other predator. It's not hunting humans. This is what Shane said, Chris. It literally, the other roided up predator, for about 90% of the film, completely ignores the humans. It has one mission and one mission only, which is to hunt down the other predator and get the thing that whatever the secret thing that this other predator has stolen from the traitor. That's literally the only. What is Shane Black talking about? What is he talking about?
This is his idea about Predator Planet. Now, here's my thing. Here's my issues with this statement. Everything you just said, of course. But also, I don't know if it's just me, but I always had a certain respect for predators in these films because they don't stray from the main objective. The objective is there's prey and I got to predator that shit, right? And there's a code. If you out predator me,
you good.
That's it. That's what the whole point of Predator 2 was. It was, listen, this motherfucker's been killing humans for a really long time, but a human finally killed him. So, we're going to come collect his body because that's what we do.
The other predator, the other predator.
Congratulations, you won.
The other predator in the film literally throws him a gun, basically going like, "Hey, look, my nigga, we've been here forever, yo.
Yeah, we've been here for a really long time, and y'all finally killed this dude.
Yeah, good job. Hey, good job. good job. Good luck. You won.
Good luck. You predatored. Mm-hmm. That's the goal. The goal was to get a human to predator. You finally predatored after like 200 years. Good job, guys.
Even though I hate Alien, the first Alien versus Predator, I don't hate it. I don't think it's as good, and it's definitely not Alien versus Predator too bad. But even in that first Alien versus Predator film, it's the same thing. The predators come, they hunt the aliens on in that pyramid thing, and if it's a rite of passage. If the predators survive, they survive. If they don't, well, hey, my nigga, you tried your best. That's it. That's it.
And it's not even just that this explanation goes against what is shown in the film, but what's shown in the film itself actually goes against the film's explanation of what we're being shown in the film. By that, I mean, we're shown that there are two predators, like you said, the predator that's the traitor and the predator that's hunting him. And the predator that's the traitor is a traitor for a reason that's very obvious. Like, once you get this whole explanation of they're harvesting from different planets to get the best qualities on some island of Dr. Monroe shit, or it's another movie where they were just taking traits from people and injecting them to get the best traits or whatever. We do it a lot. Okay, it's not some new concept that Shane Black came up with, that they're going to take the best qualities of every planet and try to make the best organism ever. But I
mean, it's basically eugenics, but whatever.
No, I'm just saying, like, you have that, but then the film goes against itself because the first predator that's supposed to be here to help humans is actually killing humans all over the place. Like, he shows up and he's like, "Hey, what's up, dude?" And the first thing he does is skin a whole human. So wait, hold on. Now, what is the predator's instincts then? Is my man like, the mission is to help humans, but the predator in me just can't help but to skin these human creatures? I just can't help it. Like, I see a human and I want to skin him. I'm like, "Hey, buddy, what's good? You look deliciously skinnable."
I mean, come on.
I just want to flay you for like my birthday. I just want to flay you, motherfucker, because you're so adorably flayable.
I mean, once you pop, you can't stop. I mean, I'm just saying, that's what humans are.
Like, humans are Pringles.
Yeah, humans are fucking Pringles to fucking predators. And you know what, though? I completely forgot about that. I completely forgot. I completely forgot that the predator is supposed to be coming and bringing some secret weapon for humans to fight back against his predator brethren. The first thing he does is literally skin up a human, skin up one of Holbrook's people. He kills everybody but Holbrook, and I'm like,
it's the whole reason Holbrook is after him.
Right. I'm like,
he killed his whole team.
Right. I'm like, wait a minute. So if you're here to like, so who was this predator meeting on Earth to give this stuff to? Like, I don't understand. Like, like, none of this stuff fucking makes sense.
With a random human. Like I don't really. What was his goal? There was no goal. It makes no sense. But you have that part. But then I feel like you don't understand a Predator movie if you make a predator petty, because they're not petty. They just aren't fucking petty, dog.
Right?
They kill shit. That's all they care about. Like, now they might kill you in a petty way, but that's still a kill. It's all about the fucking hunt. And every predator has played with humans, has actively toyed with its prey while hunting it. And it's one of the things that I kind of respect about these creatures, is that there's certain things that we don't understand because we don't speak their language and we're not from their planet, but we understand what drives them: to kill you, We understand that their only mission outside of to kill you is also to kill you.
It's the hunt.
So it trips me out that Shane Black steps into this and goes, but what if the Predators had a SAD?
Right.
And they decided that they was tired of Predators being on Earth and killing 10 humans in 10 seconds and finally getting beat by one after going on a massacre. Like they were there, their Predator never comes home. We sent Bobby, to soil his royal oaks on Earth, and he never returned home, and we miss our Bobby.
Like
so we jacked his brother up with roids, and we sent him to Earth.
It literally makes no sense. Cause it's like, I mean, what's the like? They were like, well, yeah, there's another faction. The Predators. They know that Earth's time is limited, and that with climate change and all this stuff, soon we're not going to be here anymore. So there's a run on resources for Earth. And I'm like, and you're literally, we've already established, again, if we're establishing that Predator 1 happened, because even in this film, they established that Predator 1 and Predator 2 happened, which if those two films happened, that we know Predators happened, even though Predators didn't happen on planet. We know then that the Predators actually have gaming planets. So what the fuck does it matter if one planet goes away? They have a galaxy full of fucking planets.
Coming here. But in the beginning of the film, they weren't even coming here until old boy used light speed to jump through that wormhole and then came to Earth. Like they weren't coming here. There was no mission to Earth at all shown in this film until old boy decided to crash through our atmosphere, claiming he had a present for us. Yeah, like he showed up to the party with 3 women. Like, yo, I got pussy with me though. I might not be on the list, but I got some pussy, so let me in.
It doesn't
that's how he showed up, and the other Predator followed him. Like, bro, where you going though? Like, for real, my nigga, you gonna run to Earth? No, bro, come on. I gotta come to Earth now. We've been here so many times. We've been here since 1987, maybe even before. We gotta come back. Come on, bro. If the Predators were harvesting, why haven't they harvested enough already? Like, literally 6 of them showed up at the end of Predator 2 to take a body back. There was so many opportunities for them to harvest human stuff. But now all of a sudden they need something we have that they weren't able to get before when they were killing the shit out of us.
The other thing that was bothering me as fuck in this film too, in the other Predator films, you get like you focus on the certain thing. Like this film focuses so little on the actual Predators. Like whether it's the armor, whether it's like I don't think at any point in this film they even go through the whole thing about Predators can only see in heat. They don't even. No,
they just show him looking in heat. They just show it, but they don't have like a
right.
He can only see in heat. Like they don't actually play around with that.
They don't do that. They do the obviously the camouflage thing, but like his weapons don't really focus on that kind of shit. Outside of the cannon, even then he doesn't even really use a cannon like that. Like. It's like this film is it just doesn't give a shit about being a Predator film, which drives me crazy because Shane Black was in the original fucking Predator, which is the only reason why I actually gave a damn about him doing this film. I was like, well, if there's anybody who's going to be able to do a Predator film, it'll obviously be the guy who was in the first fucking film to begin with, right?
No, because he didn't want to make another film where Predator's Predator. And that's what fucks these films up. What really kills these films that we all want to see, like, what we want? You know what type of aliens film we want? An aliens film. We don't want Prometheus. We want an aliens film. And old boy just cannot get his head wrapped around that. Like, he does not want to do an aliens film for us. And they don't want to go get James Cameron to do it. So we're kind of fucked. The other thing, it's the same thing happening here. Shane Black does not actually want to do a Predator film. He was like, even if you listen to him talking interviews, he is actively working against developing the Predator character. And it's displayed throughout the whole film. He literally gives Predator weapons to humans so that they can use them on the Predator.
Yeah.
And then the final gift at the end is literally like, it is like the ultimate Predator gift. It's like we want to make humans able to be predators. So he gives them the ultimate Predator gift to help to do whatever. Like, that's what blows my mind. You can watch this film, and it is a white man who feels jaded by the power of a predator. So he made a whole film stripping predators of their power
Mm-hmm.
and giving it to humans. The film opens up with the main character doing the invisible cloaking shit. I was like, bruh, how do you even know how to use this shit?
Nope.
They just do, because humans are so fucking advanced. We weren't able to come up with this technology on our own, but we actively know how to use it immediately. And they do it the rest of the film. Like, even Sterling K gets he gets the cannon you're talking about.
Yep.
Like, he gets the Predator's cannon. I was like, well, what's the Predator going to use? Because you can't they didn't have humans do anything really on their own. Like, we didn't use any of our own technology really to defeat these creatures in this film. We used their own shit against them. It is a very, very cheap version of Independence Day.
Yes.
And it takes even more life out of the film. But this is what Shane wanted to do. He even talks about how he really wanted to develop the human characters. Bruh, it is a Predator movie. We're not here to develop human characters. We're here to watch a fucking horror action called The Predator. I don't understand what's so confusing about that. And like you said, canon stuff happens in this film like Easter eggs. The stuff that Predators do that we look forward to seeing in a Predator film, he treats as an Easter egg. And the rest of the film is a bunch of bullshit with humans. This is literally what not James Cameron, what Michael Bay does with the Transformers films.
Yes.
I'm like, just make a 50-minute Transformer film where it's all Transformers. Stop giving me 3-hour Transformer films where it's 40 minutes of Transformers and 2 hours and 20 minutes of fucking human shit that I don't care about. That's what happens here. They change locations just so they can add more humans into these situations. And there's a scene towards the end where it's 20 humans on screen at one time and one predator. And I'm just like, bruh, why are there so many humans here not dead yet? There's a predator on the loose and all of these humans are alive.
Again, a predator doesn't actually go and hunt humans until about the last 15 minutes of this film.
More humans kill humans in this film than the predators.
Yes. Yes.
That is, oh my God, that is so not a Predator film. What did I tell LaShonda? When I was talking to LaShonda today, I was like, it's like somebody walked up to Shane Black and said, how do you ruin bacon? And he was like, yo, you take pork bacon, you toss it out, you replace it with turkey bacon, but make it thick cut turkey bacon. That's what he did with this film. He threw out the predators we love, the bacon. He replaced them with these turkey bacon predators, but one of them is a thick cut turkey bacon predator. So that's better. No, it's not. I don't want to see roided up predator. That's not what makes predators dope, which again goes against what he was saying in an interview about why he didn't choose these like roided up testosterone figures like Arnold Schwarzenegger and Sylvester Stallone and the other Expendables from the 80s who were originally in these films. He went with the more lean army guys who are in shape, but aren't super WWE or WWF fit, so that it can, look more realistic, and they have to rely on their intelligence and, their dexterity and their, agility too, because they can't hand-to-hand fight a predator, right? They're not big enough. They're not Arnold big, and even Arnold couldn't hand-to-hand fight a fucking predator. So that's what he did with this character, right? That's what he did with the humans. But he did the complete opposite with the predators. He was like, no, we legit want roided up Arnold Schwarzenegger mixed with John Cena mixed with the Rock Predator.
Well, you know what it is? Well, but here's why. Because while he might not want to do it with the characters. That's what the concept. The concept of Shane Black with this film is bigger is better. Because as we did with the Predator, where it's like when you go and look at something like Predators that Robert Rodriguez did, he did make slightly bigger Predators, but you couldn't really tell at first. Like you couldn't tell that those 3 hunter Predators were bigger at the time. It wasn't until they took down the other predator, like, oh no, they are bigger. And then each of them had their own little thing. Like one of them hunted with dogs, which by the way, they bring the dogs back in this film, but it's a different kind of dog. And I'm like, why didn't you just use it? Whatever. They had one that had the technology used, the Falcon and the other one I can't remember what the third one did. What he used, but it's like that's how you show that there were different. So it's like showing that there are different factions of predators. We're fine with that, and showing that they even hunt other predators. Fine, I can go with that. But like Shane Black took what everybody else did in their previous movie and said, "What if I like do all of that, but like bigger and dumber, and just add a bunch of shit that doesn't make any sense into it?" Yeah, I'm gonna do that. No, dude, that's not what we want. That's not what we want. Predators was great. We want. Predators was a good film. Predators added to the lore by taking it off of Earth, showing you that the predators hunt, and that's it. That's all you need. And it's like, it's good enough. I like it. Okay. Even gave us a nice little homage to the other Predator films and things like that, and it still worked. Even gave us some development with the different characters, had some good actors in it, because Mahershala's in that. You know? It's a good fucking film. And then then you get this, where it's like, dude, what the fuck were you doing? So it makes no goddamn sense. So let's go to the last thing. The most offensive thing.
No, that's not the last thing. So we've been talking about the story and the plot and Shane Black blacking this up. What we have not talked about is the one thing that I've seen some people praising this film for, and it's the action.
Oh, I'm sorry. You're right. You're right. Yes.
Because I got a quote for that too. Shane Black said, "We took everything out of day," which means certain scenes that they needed to shoot and the amount of stuff that they wanted to shoot. It was better to shoot those scenes during the day. But Shane Black felt like the best atmosphere for a Predator film is a night atmosphere, even though the whole first fucking day. And so is most of fucking Predators. He decided that he wanted to do this whole film at night, which it is. It's all at night. They never change days in this movie. So what he said was, we took everything out of day and put it into night. The Predator in day isn't the same as the Predator in night. So he took all of the shit that they shot during the day and he darkened it. And that makes most of the action scenes in this film unseeable.
Wait, he darkened the film
Yes. You can't see shit because it's so fucking dark. And on top of that, the CGI is trash. And he actually said he wasn't there for when they did a lot of the post-production CGI stuff. I don't think he was. He was saying like while he was doing this interview with Collider, he was like, they're doing post-production CGI right now, especially on reshoot stuff. So the CGI of like predators losing limbs, people dying certain ways, those two predator dogs.
Oh, that scene in the scene in the
terrible.
That scene in the high school football field is god awful. It's terrible.
Any scene with the dogs in it is terrible.
Which is
like the dogs just look bad. The dog on what was that Marvel show that's not getting another season?
Oh, Inhumans.
Didn't that have a big ass dog in it?
Yeah,
that dog looked better than the dogs in this movie.
What kills me with the dogs is we've done Predator dogs before. Predators
and they looked better.
Looked 100% better, and they were scarier because they had the fucking horns coming out of their mouth, out of their heads, and stuff like that. They were scary as shit. How do you not?
Bruh, it's like he refused to do a Predator movie while doing a Predator movie. And then he was like, I'm also going to fuck up my action scenes. So they are fucked up. There's a lot of dark shit going on. You can't see it.
Tons of
a lot of the CGI is fucking terrible. And I'm sorry, that shit is just egregious at this point. This film did not cost $14 million to make. It cost $88 million. He had a big enough fucking budget to shoot better scenes. And he could have shot them at night on that budget if he'd have condensed this fucking movie, this contrite ass film that he did not need to do this way. If he'd have just did a Predator movie with the Predator in, we wouldn't have had to deal with a lot of this unnecessary bullshit that you have to sit through now. That's pretty much what you're getting. So if you're wondering why the scenes are so dark, that's why. He nighted them. Everything about this film is why.
One of the biggest complaints about Alien, the biggest complaint about Alien vs. Predator 2 is that the fucking film's too dark. So why would you, knowing that film was too dark to see shit, go and in your new Predator film, darken it up. This film is atrocious.
But you saved the best for last, so let's get into that.
So as you mentioned before, Shane Black wanted to make the kid autistic or on the autism spectrum. And now I went onto Twitter today because we had our conversation in the parking lot, and I was feeling some kind of way, and I'm so glad I didn't do I just couldn't do it. I was going to do a video review for this, and I just got things were going on. My mic was messed up. I was like, I ended up not doing it. So this morning on Twitter, I went and I asked people, I was like, hey, listen, anybody who's a parent of a kid on the spectrum, I'm feeling some kind of way about the way not just the Predator portrays autistic kids, but just films in general. Because I feel like in order to make themselves feel comfortable, and somebody pointed this out to me, I think Felder pointed out to me, he was like, they treat autism like they used to treat kids with asthma or things like that, where that's the plot point. That all of a sudden an autistic kid is also like Junior Rain Man, and that makes them really good at math or really good with computers, or they're really secret geniuses, but like they're autistic because they're quiet and they're sensitive to sound. And I'm like, now I might not be the most knowledgeable about this and about autism, but I kind of feel like that's not what autism is. But it feels like they do this in every fucking film, because the only way that the filmmakers can make themselves feel good about autism is if they make it so that the kid or the person is some kind of secret genius that can figure shit out that nobody else can, and that's the only autism that they're okay with, which is not autism.
So like I watch Ashley works with special needs kids. We watch a lot of shows that deal with kids who have autism and Asperger's, which this film uses interchangeably a lot. And I think that like Ashley's going to me that Asperger's is like a form of autism or something like that, like high functioning autism maybe to some extent. But I could be wrong. If I am, it's because I'm not a special education teacher or I'm not versed in challenges like that. But I have seen a way to what you're talking to, that this stuff is displayed on television. What I've seen is two ways that it is displayed. And I think that this is the third way it's displayed. And this way in this film is the most egregious I've seen. So the first way that I don't have a problem with is the Rain Man way, where he clearly needs monitoring. Like he has to be put on a certain schedule. He needs a caretaker because he cannot do certain basic things that a person with a fully functioning brain can do. Not saying that half his brain don't work. That's not what I'm talking about. Certain things like being able to show up somewhere on time, or being able to know that you can't leave a stove on and then go into another room, or to know that you can't run the water till it's scalding hot, stuff like that he does in that film. Being able to operate without having to watch the same shows every day or have his food cut the same way. Like, he can't do basic things like eat a different meal at the same time. Eat a different meal at a different time on a day without freaking out, right? Like schedule and ritual, that stuff, it is important to him. He's very regimented. But his mind does work very well with math. And that's great, right? That's where he shines. Okay. I don't think that representation is that egregious, because Tom Cruise still has to put him back in that home at the end of that movie. Doesn't matter how good at counting cards he is. And it doesn't matter. He still can't do basic functions that a person needs to be able to do to take care of themselves. Okay, that's an extreme case. The other case I've seen is now where people are kind of swinging into the whole Asperger's side of it. So instead of saying my kid has autism, they'll say it's Asperger's on television, which is like more high functioning. And this was on Parenthood. The kid Max had Asperger's. The reason that I think the representation of that character is egregious is because Max is a little asshole. He is a fucking terror. He is a piece of shit on that show. And yes, I said it, he's a piece of shit. Doesn't matter if he has Asperger's. Max does shit intentionally, and he knows he doesn't do it, and he functions more as a sociopath than he does as a kid with Asperger's. And that kind of like did this whole notion. We had a conversation about this on Facebook. This whole notion that because kids are challenged, that means that they cannot be taught like obedience and they can't be, you know, have structure and know how to act in public, and you're supposed to treat them like animals and call them retarded and be like, oh, he acts like that because he's retarded, which is offensive as fuck. The whole sentiment of that is offensive. The fact that you can't teach a kid who might be mentally challenged to have manners and respect, that's bullshit. You absolutely can. But in this show, everybody just let him get away with shit because he had Asperger's. So he could be a little shithole to everybody, and they were completely cool with it, and they would give him shit. They'd be like, yes, you can go get a job working with cameras. Yes, we'll let you drive our car. But they couldn't teach him how to respect shit or be obedient, right? Like, don't scream at people and throw stuff at people. That's fucked up. Whether you have Asperger's or not. And if you've ever watched the show Born This Way, you can clearly see that people with challenges can be decent, beyond decent human beings, okay, and function in this world. That is a lie, and people need to stop spreading that.
Well, here's the other thing too is they call it a spectrum for a reason. There's like I had so many people coming to me and telling me like you can have 2 or 3 different. It was like I can have 2 or 3 different kids, and all of them be on the spectrum, and all of them behave 3 different ways. I had people going, I'm on the autism spectrum, and I'm high functioning, and a lot of people would never even be able to tell. It's like there's a spectrum here, but when it comes to showing it in films and TV, they don't show a spectrum. They show the most hardcore examples that they somehow pulled out of their asses, and they think that this is what autism is, and it makes no goddamn sense.
Exactly. They don't do what what's the show on FX?
Was it Atypical?
The horror show.
No. Horror show. Is it American Horror Story?
Yeah, American Horror Story. They had a girl in that show that had Down syndrome. And they also had a girl who had Down syndrome on SVU. And just functioning as an actress. She was an actress. She clearly has Down syndrome, but she's clearly on like more high functioning with Down syndrome. And that allows her to be an actress. Right? This film is more egregious than any of the forms that we are shown in other shows and films that I've mentioned here. The reason that it's more egregious is because the kid clearly does not have autism. But to make you think he has autism, they make him do things like have random tics for no reason.
Bruh.
At certain points in the film. So he is fine the whole film, y'all. Like, he is, and I know somebody's going to be like, well, there are people who are fine and then they hear a loud noise and they have tics. I understand that, but you need to see what I mean. You need to see what I mean. He's comprehending everything fine. He walks home on his own and he's like 11 years old. Okay, nobody is checking in on him. Nobody is helping him with regimens. He comes home during the day by himself. He goes down. He has the most high-tech computer lab in his basement ever. You know, he is able to comprehend conversational shit on the fly to the point where he kicks out sarcasm just as fast as it's kicked back to him. He's not high. He's not even just high. He's not high-functioning autism. He's normal functioning child.
He's just shy.
Okay, there's nothing about him that is autistic until they're like, okay, we need you to sit in the corner and start knocking your head up against your hand.
Or at the very beginning where the alarm goes off and he reacts to that. It's like, the kid's just shy and he's really, really smart. And I brought this up because we were like, well, different kind of, we talked about this also with the different kind of noise. Like, he's bothered by the alarm, but somehow the explosion, the gunfire doesn't bother him. And people were like, well,
the whole film.
Well, and people were like, and some people, were like, well, that can happen. Sometimes, I have a child and, gunfire and explosions don't bother him, but alarms do. And I was like, all right, cool. And I'm like, I can go with that. Although I will also say that if the fire alarm bothers him, then I would assume that the police sirens wouldn't, but whatever. Let's say I go with that.
Police sirens, right. Spaceships taking off, bombs exploding, gunshots, none of this shit bothers them, but the school alarm.
But I was like, all right, let's go with that. Let's take that one out then. I still have a problem with when they make a person or a child at the very, very beginning of the film, they go super hard with the autism, or he's on the spectrum, or Asperger, or whatever you want to call it. It's to the point that it's damn near almost crippling. Then as the film goes on and on, longer and longer, they stop giving a shit about those kind of.
He's completely functioning. He's functioning fine during an alien attack, way better than any other human in the world would be, whether they had autism or not. Most people would be curled up in a ball in the corner. It's like, please don't take me, aliens, don't probe me, bitch. And he's like running around opening alien doors and picking up alien weapons and setting traps for the aliens using the alien technology. The way they use autism here is specifically just to explain why he can read alien technology. That's it. When he opens a door, they're like, well, you know he's autistic, right? When he picks up an alien gun and he puts a code in, they're like, you know he's autistic, right? They like, that's the only reason he do it. And I'm sorry, that shit is offensive as fuck. It is so fucking offensive. It's like, oh man, he really figured out that passcode for that alien spaceship because, man, well, you know, I don't know where he gets it from. And the other guy's like, well, yeah, you do. He's autistic. What the fuck? And then for the thing that they try to make it about that aliens have come to this planet for is to harvest autism. Nigga.
Dude.
Nigga, have y'all not seen Rain Man? Because if you've seen Rain Man, then you would know you possibly do not want to harvest autism because you don't know what end of the spectrum of it you'd be getting, and harvesting it, you don't know how it would end up when you got it back home. And the fact that aliens would want to inject something that makes you sit down and have a tick into themselves when they hear a particular sound as a way for them to upgrade themselves sounds like stomping on your PlayStation controller to make the game run better.
Well, it goes back to what you were saying, and it goes back to the idea that Shane Black and whoever made this movie had no idea what it means to be on the spectrum and what spectrum means. Because when you say, again, on the spectrum, why would, if the whole idea is for the predators to, again, and the idea of them coming here, they're not hunting, but they're harvesting the best traits, which is stupid. But let's say that's what they were doing.
And they should have kidnapped LeBron James then, if that was the case, or Serena Williams.
Right. Why would you want to harvest whatever it is, whether it's a gene, whatever that is causing autism, when again there is no, as far as we know, and they make no explanations of it in this film, to isolate like the most highest functioning forms of that autism. Like, it doesn't make any fucking sense. And again,
I just feel like it makes it
the
Predators would have came down and they would have been like, give us your Beyonce,
right?
Like that would have been it. Like that would have been it.
All right. Give me one Beyonce. Give me one of them LeBrons. Let me get one of them Serenas.
And who's that light skinned nigga that just got the EGOT?
Right.
Give me him.
Right. Like, you know the singer nigga. Let me get that nigga. No, not Drake.
Right.
Not Drake. Give me the other nigga. Like,
I just don't understand. And we really like Bill Nye the Science Guy.
Right.
Like, give us him.
We don't.
What the fuck? I just we don't
want Neil deGrasse Tyson. He's an asshole. We don't want him. We don't want him.
Sometimes he just says stupid shit like that shit about the phone.
Right.
So I want to correct something real quick. When I said a couple of minutes ago that them and aliens harvesting autism and injecting them, predators harvesting autism and injecting themselves with it as an upgrade is like stomping on your PlayStation controller to make the system run better. Let me correct that. That's a terrible. That's like basically saying autism is a broken controller that smashed on the floor. I don't want to say that. That's not what it is. Alien predators injecting themselves with autism as an upgrade is like taking your Wi-Fi connection, or it's like taking the PlayStation controller and making it so that it only works on a frequency that's only available in a certain section of your house. But it works really well when you're playing from that corner in your house. Like, it is amazing. You are the best player online. But if you step outside that corner, then the controller, it doesn't work as well as other controllers would work generally in all areas of the house. So let's put it like that. Like, I feel like that is a terrible dampening thing to do to yourself if you're trying to only upgrade yourself to be a better species in the galaxy.
Well, again, because Shane Black both put so much in this film, yet explains almost nothing, he throws this in as almost a throwaway line and then never explains it. From both the idea of the predators, improving themselves, you're like, okay, well, how are they improving themselves? I don't know. I'm not going to tell you. All right, cool. But then you're saying that they want the kid. And again, we got to remind you that they didn't come. Like the big predator, the bounty hunter predator, didn't come to Earth to take the kid. So I still don't understand. So here's the other thing too I don't understand is I don't even understand how the big predator figured out that the kid had autism and that he wanted to harvest it. Because how did he figure that out? Other than the idea that, well, the kid had the stuff and figured out how to use it. But again, what does that mean? Like that doesn't mean anything. Like,
but that's what the scientists were doing when they had the gadgets. Because like Sterling and them were like, I'm taking this predator gadget and this predator gadget because we know how to use it. So shouldn't he have wanted to take one of the scientists from the division?
Like none of it. Like, and again, that's where it comes into the offensive thing of this is that they threw this autism thing in there because they thought it was like cool, but they had no idea what it meant or what they were saying, which then makes it offensive because it's like, you don't even know what this means, but you're throwing it in there and you think it's cool, but honestly, it's just a fucking slap in the face. Like, this is one of the things where, oh yeah, no, see, we made the autism kid, we made the autistic kid, you know, really, really smart about this one thing. It's like, but that's not what autism is. Yes, some people can be super high functioning in one particular aspect, right? But that's like a super rare case and it doesn't make any sense. And you would think that there would be some kind of defense. On the other hand, the end goal of this, and I'm sorry we're getting a little bit of spoilers here, but like you don't need to see this film. The end goal is the kid basically gets a job working for the government doing shit with computers. And all of a sudden,
2 days later.
2 days later, and all of a sudden it's fine. It's like, so the kid didn't have autism. He was just bored at school. We've all been there. That's not what that is.
I just don't understand why they couldn't make him like the girl from The Gift with Chris Evans. They could have just made him highly intelligent. We have high functioning kids. We have highly intelligent little genius kids that we write about in the newspapers all the time. Kid gets doctorate degree at 8 years old. Like that happens all the time now. So we have kids. We're churning out little geniuses, prodigies and proteges. Like it's fine. Prestigious elite beings that'll run the country hopefully one day in place of the idiot we have now. That's what we have. There's no reason to give them autism to make them smart in a film. It's just unnecessary. Like it's unnecessary to give a kid autism I think the last time they did that, and it was, I think maybe it was the first time they did it, I'm not sure, but when they did it, what was it, Mercury Rising? When Bruce Willis and the kid has autism, but he hacked into some shit? Like, that, it's, okay. There's no reason to continue to do that. I think even in knowing, with Nicolas Cage, I think his son had like some disability or in that film.
You know what it is?
You know, like with numbers. Like, I just don't understand why you need to do that. Why can't you just make them geniuses who stumble upon things because they're really, really smart? If you just want to have a really, really smart kid. You know, it's cool to just have a really, really smart kid in there, right? You don't have to break him in some way.
They've turned autism into ADHD, where every kid that makes a lot of noise or it gets distracted easily or doesn't pay attention has ADHD, and it's just like sometimes you were just bored. Like I didn't have ADHD. I was bored. You were boring the shit out of me, so I didn't pay attention to you. Doesn't mean I have attention deficit disorder. It means I'm bored. That's what that means. I mean,
also just don't like you.
I just don't fucking like you. Like that's what they turn off. And I'm sorry. It's just fucking sickening. It's disgusting. And it's another. And that to me was probably where the rest of the film is bad, but this was offensive. And Shane Black should be ashamed of himself. And then. On top of all that, because I wasn't even going to bring this up, but I was like, you know, might as well. You said it best. The Predator is the type of film you would expect from a director who tried to get his pedophile friend a goddamn job in the film. What the fuck, Shane Black?
No, didn't try to get him. Gave him.
You're right. Gave his pet. And I'm still trying to figure out where the fucking scene would have gone.
I don't know.
It didn't even make any fucking sense.
I'm sure that was an easy decision. Just cut unnecessary scene number 962 out.
Right.
And we'll be fine.
Right. And I really want to know what Olivia Munn's male co-stars outside of, you know, because Sterling K. Brown wasn't there at TIFF, but they were fucking thinking, giving the fucking film a standing ovation when they saw it. Versus all this shit. Like, how do you react when you see that he wanted to put his pedophile friend into the fucking film? The guy who put his hands and tried to have sex with a 14-year-old.
Bruh.
Shane Black is a fucking piece of shit. And I'm actually thrilled now that the film is terrible, so I can with good conscience tell people not to go see it. Because if it was good, I'd feel bad being like, I mean, yeah, he's a piece of shit, but the film is good. Now I don't have to worry about that. The film is terrible. Don't go fucking see it. Fuck Shane Black for what he tried to do.
It just keeps dropping in ratings too. It's down to 36% now.
I can't believe it's that fucking high.
Keeps going down.
I can't believe it's that high, honestly, at this point. So, I guess we're at that point. What rating would you give this film?
God, I don't want to use too many of these here. Because it just doesn't want to be a fucking Predator film, I got to give it a fuck you. It just refuses to be a Predator film.
Yeah.
And then you add in all the other stuff. I'm sorry. Like, I know I've given 2 of these out in a row, but I can't. Like, I've seen enough films this year to where I feel like now I can use my 2 go fuck yous of the year, and I'm using it for this. And we're going to see Venom at some point this month, and I'm still using it for this.
I here's the thing. I am not in on Venom. In no way, shape, or form believe Venom will be as bad as this.
Nope. That's why I'm using it here.
Yeah, I'm with you on this. Fuck this. Mainly because, like, I'm a Predator fan. I love the solo Predator films, and this, to me, as far as I'm concerned, is like the first truly horrendous Predator film. Again, like Predator. I'm not going to sit there and try to tell you Predator 2 is good. It's not, but it's entertaining, and it's still a Predator film. This film, though, fuck this film. It's just fucking disgusting. It's ridiculous, and yeah, no, it's just.
God, at least Alien versus Predator has Sanaa Lathan in it. Like, if I got to see Predators fucking up aliens and stuff, and Sanaa is there, I'm good. I can do that.
Look, I'm hard on that PG-13 Alien versus Predator film. It is infinitely better than this film. And after I watched it again, I was like, you know what? I didn't like the design of the Predators. And if they made it like the normal guy in the suit instead of the puffy fucking suit, whatever they did with that AVP film, fine, I can deal with it. But this shit, no. Get the fuck out of here. It's fucking ridiculous, yo. Fuck this film. Yeah, folks. There you guys have it. That is the review for The Predator. I guess we had a lot to say about this one. Again, if you like our reviews, please go to iTunes and go to Movie Trailer Reviews. Leave us a 5-star review. Gotta leave it on the Movie Trailer Reviews feed for us. We need more 5-star reviews. I think we're around 55 or 60 right now. So we've already gone up a lot from, I think we started like a week ago with 14. So please add your review in for there so we can try to get more reviews in there. We'll be back. I think we got something next week. I can't remember what we got. Oh, I know we also got another film review for A Simple Favor. Check that film out. If you need a film to see this weekend, go see A Simple Favor. Don't go fucking see The Predator. It's just fuck this film. So
The Predator. It's named The Predator, and there are 2 predators in it.
Oh god. Damn it. Anyway, folks, thank you guys very much for listening, and until next time, we're out of here. Peace.